We're now going to generate a JSON sidecar and do a head annotation with the assistance of the HED online tools. On the left, you see the Sternberg dataset in BIDS format. And BIDS stands for Brain Imaging Data Structure. It's a standardized format that allows tools to find data that's organized in the standard way. BIDS organizes the data by subject, and if we navigate down to session and then modality, we can see that at the top low level, there are a number of files, including the events files for the data in that run. And here we see an example of that data in the events file. So this is the TSV file for run 1 of subject 1, session 1. So let's go to the JSON, the tools for HED, and we're going to choose the events tools, and we're going to use one of the event files to generate a template. So if I select generate a sidecar template and I browse to the data set, the events file we were just looking at, I see it here. And the tool shows the columns that are present in that file, as well as the number of unique values in each column. Now we're going to select the columns that we want to annotate. And I'm skipping onset, duration, and sample because those are standard columns and we don't need to include them unless we want the head annotations corresponding to them to be included in the assembled data. I'm also going to skip value because that's a legacy column that we're just keeping there for information. There are two types of head annotation that are associated with the JSON sidecar. One are categorical annotations and the other are value annotations. Categorical annotations annotate each unique value in the column with an individual annotation, whereas value annotations just annotate the value as a whole. And we'll see the difference when we do the template generation. So I'm only going to annotate the event type and the task role as individual categorical values and treat the remaining letter, trial, and memory condition as values. I generate the JSON sidecar template, and I'm going to put it in the top level of the BIDS data set. But before I do that, I'm going to rename it to take out the subject and session numbers as well as the run. And so the remaining name just has the task information in, and it's put at the top level so that it applies to all of the events.tsv files that are in the directories below it. This is works because of the BIDS inheritance principle. Now, if we look at this template, here we go, we can see that each column that we've selected appears in the template, and there's a head subcolumn or subkey in here, and the individual column values appear, and right now they have just placeholder notations. These are valid notations, head annotations, but they're not very informative. We then fill in this template with the appropriate information, and we finish the annotation. So let me just show you the finished annotation. So we have sense in where we had sound buzz, that was just using labels. In the finished annotation, we say what kind of event it was, that it was an auditory presentation, and then what that auditory presentation was of. Now, in comparison, let's just look at the value annotations. So here, the idea is that the annotation applies to all values in the column. And when the annotation is assembled, that number sign is replaced with the individual value applicable to that event. So with this, we've actually finished the head annotation for a BIDS data set, making our data much more valuable for downstream users. In the next demo, we'll see how to use CTagger to take the JSON template and generate annotations using a user-friendly interface. Thank you.